Hi guys, welcome to the motherfucking Last Set podcast, episode 150. We made it, baby.
Oh yeah, that's it. 150.
150. All right, let's get these introductions going. Starting with
Callum. My name's Callum. Third, fourth, maybe time on the podcast. Obviously, I've been on here a few times, but for those that don't know me, I knew Joe through uni. We all studied together except for Mark, who was at the uni but not a sports science gang. So I've known Joe since then, and he invited me on the podcast, and I love coming back and just chewing the fat, spinning some banter around the table with the boys. So hopefully have some more fun today.
My name's Mark. This isn't my sixth or seventh time on here.
most appeared guest.
most appearances, most guest appearances.
Someone actually asked me, are you going to start the Mark and Joe show? And I'm like, if he wants to.
No, maybe. Yeah, I knew, as Callum said, through uni. I met Joe, Callum, I met through mutual friends, Brian Huang, shout out, Wing Ho Restaurant, Rockingham, and Johnny I knew of, but I hadn't met until recently.
G'day guys, my name's Johnny. Just like Callum, also studied with Joe as well. I've always sat behind Joe in uni class, saw his huge traps with his stringlet every day, so he's always infatuated me ever since, and I was really glad for him to invite me to be on this podcast, and it's really good to see him grow.
Everyone was always really intrigued by Joe, be like, who's this kid rocked up with several cans of Monster and minimal clothing?
I always work talking about TNT or whatever,
Yeah.
packing boxes, and look where he is now, 150.
That's where that was the fucking days,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I gotta admit, I've done a few things so far in this life. I've been for a few jobs, done a few projects, but this is like the one project I'm generally most proud of, because the fact that I've stayed with it for this long, I've had this much of a reward from it, and been able to get this far. It's been unbelievable. But I say this to everyone, every guest that comes on the show, including you guys, is just as much as part of it as I am, because for over a year now, it's just been a guest-only podcast, and and without the guests, this podcast is almost pretty much nothing, because otherwise it was just me talking shit into the mic for about an hour.
I was going to say, it could just be you talking to yourself, but that's just like a Monday through Friday morning in the shower.
Correct.
You've got this, come on, go to work hard, come on. Yeah.
Monster,
self-talk in the mirror every morning.
Oh, cool. Anyway, so let's kick this off, lads. First thing, I just actually wanted to catch up with Johnny. How did that event go since the last time we spoke?
Which one? There's plenty of events. You mean Nats?
Yes.
Oh, wow, yeah. So it was a powerlifting competition hosted by the GBC. So it's a federation called the Global Powerlifting Committee. And at Rich's Gym, we host pretty much the best competitions for that. And it was the Nationals. So as you can imagine, Nationals, everyone from Australia comes to one place to compete and throw down. I was a part of day one and day two, and it was amazing. Seeing the feats of incredible young, old, male, female, crazy. I mean, I think the biggest one I saw was some guy trying to squat 370, and the bar just slipped and fell off his back.
Jesus Christ.
That Max?
Yeah, Max Jones, and no one caught it. How can you catch 370 from about, let's say, 5'10", like 5'10" off the ground? Yeah, it was insane, man. But the thing is that really kind of got me thinking and being really thankful over the weekend is just the unity of the sport and seeing everyone in one place and just cheering on is kind of what makes powerlifting real. Yeah, so it was really good weekend.
Did you enter in the competition?
No, I was a platform official, so I got to wear a nice T-shirt with the word official on my back and making sure everyone was nice and safe and making sure the timings of each lift, safety was paramount and making sure it's just nice and smooth.
I did go as a spectator, and it was nice to see Johnny had lots of authority up on the platform. It was, wow, what a figure.
Oh, thanks, man.
But no, it was a really well-run event from every sort of aspect. There wasn't anything I can pinpoint that I was like, they maybe could have done, maybe the bathrooms. I did say to somebody, I was like, fuck, the bathrooms at Richie's are always a sham, but what are you going to do?
Why are they so bad?
I think...
You imagine, how many lifters are there?
Yeah, there's a lot of lifters, a lot of traffic in there, and there's a lot of business that happens in the bathroom, which I won't go into detail, like explosive diarrhea, all that stuff, etc.
40 plus competitors all dosing up on caffeine.
Yeah, caffeine.
And then plus spectators, children as well. So people rushing in and out. So, but apart from that, look, awesome fucking event.
Yeah.
Everything went amazing from a spectator point of view. The energy in the gym was unreal. And to watch some of these guys throw down, I think my favourite person to watch was Jaden.
Yep, Jaden Bartlett. Yeah, I think
insane.
70-something kilos. He scored
Yeah, I
at
think it was
300 and something.
Yeah.
Wasn't your partner competing on the day?
No, she pulled out sort of a few weeks out due to an injury.
Yeah, she was planning to. Hey,
Yeah, she was planning to. But lower back soft tissue injury, so didn't go through with that prep, which was a smart choice from her. But the men was super good to watch. I had a bowl.
Yeah, we really pride ourselves in production quality. So at Rich's gym, it's an events venue first and then our gym afterwards. So we're always focused on giving the best events ever for powerlifting in Australia.
Interesting.
I think that's what the GPC president said something. He's like, this is the best nats we've ever had.
32 years, the best one he's ever been to.
I'm blessed and lucky because I don't go to any other powerlifting events that aren't outside Rich's. I'd probably go to one and be like, yeah, all right, this is
different.
all right. Like, what are we waiting around for? Richie's, everything's all right. Lifters ready. You're on the platform. Here's the countdown. Go, go, go. Yeah. The days don't really drag on. Even the novice days, I did one last year. It was very structured, very catered to, and everybody. The instructions were clear, and everybody knew what was going on. And obviously, the equipment there is top tier too.
Yeah.
So it really is a AAA powerlifting venue.
That's crazy good. All right, and the next thing I wanted to catch up on is Mark. You were able to be the what did you do? You got to give the award to the next guy at the YNF, or was it IFBB? What was
YNF.
YNF was a couple of weeks ago. Pretty much I was just sort of like a backstage helper, getting all the athletes ready in the morning to go on stage, that kind of thing. Finding athletes who haven't checked in or have run away to the toilet, and it's like you're up in 2 minutes, man. You got to be pumping up. What the fuck are you doing? And then in the afternoon,
wait. Did you get in a shirt that said official?
No, we just wore like the black YNF t-shirts.
YNF, step up your game.
We'll get there.
Look, I got a backstage crew one from the Pro Leagues. I won't lie, Mark, but that's okay. YNF shirt, but
we got a lanyard that said crew, so I guess that counts for something. But and then the Arvo, I was presenting the medals and awards and that kind of thing. And it was definitely an enjoyable experience seeing everyone like put all their hard work together, walking out on stage. This time they had smoke coming out as they were walking out. It was really fun to see from the sidelines rather than be on the stage this time. But definitely, it has lit like sparked a fire to compete again. I already wanted to compete again, but it's motivating seeing people do it.
Yeah, why is that? We all have the same situation going on. Like you go to one of those events and then you see other people doing it and then all of a sudden, you go, I want to do that.
I think it's something to do with the end product too.
Yeah.
As humans, we always like seeing the end product, the shiny thing, and we always forget what it takes to get there. When we're deep in the trenches, like, oh crap, it's so hard. But then you always think about that end product, like what can you achieve, what can you accomplish? And I think it's really good seeing that on stage and seeing the end product and being, okay, that could be me. So I think that's what kind of sparks me as well. Seeing all those huge lifts, the success, and sometimes, the failures as well. So just the end product, I reckon, is the really sparkly thing.
I think it depends on the individual and where they are in their training journey. For a lot of people, like first-time competitors, they'll see that end product and go, wow, that looks so good. Like that person, wow, unreal with the tan on and, the six-pack, that's great. I want to look like that. And that's a motivating factor for beginners and advanced people. Like, fuck yeah, I want to look. I can beat that look.
Exactly.
Another factor might be
I want those
how they
photos.
They can relate to an individual, whether it's somebody they think they're polar opposite to, whether they think that's somebody that they are similar to and can beat or can look like, or they just relate to them. And they go, hey, I might look like that if I go through a 16-week prep or if I pay more attention to my diet. So there could be a factor of relatability too. And then depending on the individual, I think it's maybe a bit more prevalent for males, is there's probably an aspect of, especially if they're more advanced, chasing the challenge, chasing the hunt, chasing that hard work factor. If you've done it before, like Mark, you're in a massing phase now, and it's hard work to stay structured if you do stay structured, but prep's a different beast. So, and not that I've done a full prep myself, but I've done diets of different degrees.
Are you sure, man? Because lately you've been looking very dicey.
Yeah, well, I just polished up a mini cut, and all or nothing. So things get fun. But yeah, that might be that degree of, if you've done it before or you know the hard work that it takes, there might be a degree of chasing the challenge and chasing endeavour of physical difficulty to challenge yourself. I think we're sort of reversing out of woke culture as men and rediscovering the need to have challenges in our life, to have physical adversities or mental adversities, or a combination of both. As men, we need those things. So I think for, whether it's, how hard a prepping for a powerlifting meet can be, how hard prepping for a bodybuilding show can be, is you go, all right, fuck yeah, I want that challenge. I want the hard work, I want that hustle, I want that grind for the self-growth that comes out of it. And there might be a fourth variable that people look for, is the competition side of it. Again, especially guys, you probably saw some people on Natty's on the national stage, John, you're like, yeah, I could beat them.
Damn right.
So that's probably a variable for some people as well, as to why we look at these competitions as these meets and go, yeah, I might like to do that, or I want to do that again.
Interesting. Well, you just woke up an idea in my head when you talked about the whole woke culture and all that, and how people are set and challenge. We're all aware of Andrew Tate. We've talked about him a few times on the podcast.
He's my guy, bro.
Disclaimer, I have very little experience. I don't pay attention to. I literally don't know who he is. I've seen a few clips. I don't really know who he is, what he says. I know he seems like a bit of a knob. That's all I get.
Well, fair enough. Well,
he's like too extreme down one avenue, I think. That's the only idea I have of him.
Yeah.
So if somebody could maybe explain him to me.
Okay, so I'll break it down into the short version. So Andrew Tate, he was a world champion, 4-time world champion kickboxer. He was on a bunch of things, but then all of a sudden, I think it was like at the end of last year, he really started like popping off because he created something called Hustlers University. And then he was having all these clips and he had all these views about women, about culture, society, all that sort of stuff. And a lot of it was pretty extreme stuff. But it was kind of things that a lot of men needed to hear. And then I just realized, did someone actually leave a phone in there?
I thought that was yours.
No, that's not. Someone actually leave a phone in there.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, you just throw the headphones, grab that real quick. Someone might come back in for that. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. Andrew Tate, and then he started, and then what happened was on Hustlers University, you can make money off. He taught people how to make money off social media, and of course, Hustlers University it's not a pyramid scheme, but it does have an affiliate program, so you get money. People sign up, so that's why people started making all these clips. And that's when people came up with all this whole idea of everything. Like that's how he got the idea of like, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is what I'm going to do. And then he got completely banned of social media, but mainly because a lot of the things they were accusing him of just weren't true. And then since now he's more famous than ever. Now my point I was just trying to get to is, you guys been hearing about what's happening at Twitter?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, of course.
Motherfucker. He brought in a sink to Twitter headquarters saying, let that sink in.
Somebody told me about this and I was like, I'm pretty skeptical. Like, was it photoshopped?
No, it was real.
Apparently it was a video.
Yeah,
Even though videos can be edited, it's a little bit more
deep
difficult.
fake and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I hope it was real. Because it got me thinking to myself, because he's fired all these like Twitter executives. He's like saying, yep, you're gone and all that. And I thought to myself, what if he gets Andrew Tate's account back? Can you just imagine the amount of rage that would go on the internet that day?
Not sure about Facebook, hey? Not sure about Instagram because Elon doesn't have control over that. I think that belongs to Meta and the Zuck. With YouTube, not quite sure. But I know Andrew Tate's on another platform.
Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble. Yeah.
I listen to him a lot. Yeah. It's brilliant stuff. What happened was when Andrew Tate got kicked off all the social media platforms, they didn't want to report this but when he went to Rumble, stock like exploded through the roof. Like it was like one of the best performing stocks of this year. But they just don't want to report that stuff, and because they don't want to give Andrew Tate credit because they don't want to actually
It's very interesting with Andrew Tate. The reason why he got shut down is because of his polar opposite views on women and how to be a man and how to grab life by the nuts.
Yeah.
And I think
These nuts.
damn, you got me
Got
going.
him.
These nuts. I think a big thing is with kids growing up now, man, they've kind of like socially castrating themselves with games. So many games, so many stuff that stays inside, not going outside, not having the thrill of the hunt, as Callum mentioned, because I've been reading a lot and listening to a lot. Testosterone is improved and sparked by competition and grinding, and motivation. And I think lots of young men kind of lose that. I mean, it's not the same as grinding through an MW2 lobby, trying get a kill streak or the next Prestige or the next Golden Desert Eagle, whatever, which is respectable. But then it comes to a limit where what's next, right? Where are you going to go with your life? And I think all these young guys now, and let's say people of culture like us, we like hearing these polar views because let's be honest, sometimes we do think of it as well. And it's good seeing someone be so vocal about it.
Yeah, well, there was one thing that he actually says things in my head subconsciously I've agreed with, but I've never actually spoke of it. But one time that he actually told me it was true, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he actually said that. But it's true. When he said, one of the worst things a woman can say to a man is that she's been around the world. Because he immediately thinks about the amount of times that she's been fucked. Yeah. And I thought to myself, subconsciously, I've been in a position like that before, but it's not because I had anything against the girl I was talking about. I went to myself, why did I think like that? And then he said it, and he's like, believe it or not, he's actually right. So
you're saying, do you travel a lot?
No.
Okay, I was going to do the just reverse it back at you.
Yeah. Well, I don't, but I know what you're trying to say.
So you're saying if you travel a lot, you're pretty much, getting butt blasted.
That's what spit his coffee there.
He's reverse engineered your logic right against you, bud.
But I think it's, do you kind of feel this pressure as well? Because since let's say you've kind of well established now with the Last Set podcast, are you kind of afraid of getting cancelled as well?
No.
Okay.
I've never been afraid of that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Because if I put it this way, I am nowhere near popular enough to get cancelled. If I got cancelled, I know that'll be more than popular enough, so that's a win on its own.
Okay.
But then I'll end up going to somewhere like Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell everybody this. I do this podcast. I know it's for it sounds like a selfish thing, but I've always did it for myself. I never did it because I wanted clips or wanted views. I did it because I feel like one of the best things I could be as a man is a good interviewer, a good conversationist.
Yep.
That was the pure reason why I did this. And that's what keeps me going. I couldn't give a fuck about my views.
That's good.
I couldn't give, even though, yes, you guys, I'm so grateful that you guys come on for this. But I feel like communicating and arguing and having a strong conversation and debate with someone is a skill that's quite hard to come by these days, because in this generation, if you don't agree with something, the response to it is insulting them, labeling them, or cancelling them. One of the three.
Yeah, I was reading a book by Jordan Peterson. I think something Beyond Order.
Yes,
the second book, and it was talking about something how the most dangerous weapon a man can possess is his words. Yeah, I mean, we can train all we want, look huge or whatever, but if we don't know how to communicate, we're pretty much close to zero. So communication is key. Yeah.
Damn.
Which is something I'm trying to be more conscious of in the last 24 months and constantly improving. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, and I don't think I'll ever will be. It's constantly evolving, chance to be better and communicate better.
Exactly.
And it goes to every different individual you interact with, being able to gauge somebody's personality, their demeanour, their mediums of communication as well, and interact best with them. So, I think it is a very powerful, very, very powerful tool. That one I've started to pay a bit more attention to.
So for me, I find it hard to say no. I always try to find ways to do it myself. Or if I ever need help, I don't like really asking for help because I feel like I am the one that's best equipped to do it. So that's been a challenge for me, just trying to resource other things, because I like to cover all my bases. I like to be a Swiss Army knife. But at the end of the day, I can't be the master of everything, right? I have to do one thing good, not do 10 things bad. So trying to ask for help and say no is a big challenge I've been working on for the past 6 months.
Okay. Yeah. How do you work on something like that, though? Because the thing is, I'm hearing a lot of, I want to do this and we're trying to do this, but how do you do it? That's the main thing.
A bit of a holistic healing. I like to throw my mat out in the sun my nuts. No, not really. I saw Callum was like, what the hell's going on?
I've seen that as a trend. A lot. That's a reoccurring trend lately. Putting sun in your balls.
I think for now, like for me right now, is just priorities. Writing down on like, let's say like a piece of paper, my priorities in my life right now.
Yeah.
And where are my shortcomings, knowing myself.
Yeah.
So I think I'm so focused on doing things that sometimes I don't really know who I am, in a sense. So for the past 6 months, I've been trying to practice stillness. So a bit of meditation, self-talk and all that stuff. But most of all is just writing things down. Journaling. I think journaling has been a big thing.
Just to interrupt you there, what's your daily caffeine consumption at the moment, Johnny? Because I know you love a pre-workout.
Oh my word, dude. It's been an issue, man.
Is it 350, 500,
No, it's more than
750?
that. My pre-workout full dosage is 750 milligrams.
And you're going to practice stillness?
Huh? Bro, I've actually tapered off, man.
You need that
I know
caffeine
you
to
would.
practice.
You're like, hey, bro, I got this stuff from over wherever. I don't know where yours is. You want to try it? I'm like, it comes in a bag. I'm like, I'm good, man. Like,
Sure, he wants a cocaine.
I gave
good.
one to Joe,
I'm good.
actually. I gave one to Joe, and he
God,
got
that was
butt blasted,
shit.
man.
I loved
I
it.
was like, I'll stick to my like 175 milligram and a black coffee.
The problem was with that, I can't. You've given me something. Since then, I cannot get anywhere near replication of it.
I told you, man.
It's so fucking good.
I think there's more though, so let me know.
I appreciate. I have to get some off you because the stuff that I'm taking last time, I actually went to Mark. I was like, holy shit, I've been actually taking this much of it. When it says don't exceed 1 scoop. But I gotta admit to you, man, caffeine. I mean, I'm having a coffee now, but caffeine's got to be the most abused substance ever.
And the most studied on as well.
It's going around a lot lately that it is an abused drug, and it definitely is. I think we all know it as a tool. Like, what was it? Unit 2206, exercise physiology. Like the 2 performance enhancing drugs or like legal PEDs we looked at.
Yep.
Caffeine and creatine.
Caffeine, creatine.
What we look at? Beta alanine. We looked at a little bit.
way.
We did look at a little bit of beta.
Bit of nitrates as well.
Yeah, we do.
Someone's
The
drinking
beetroot
red
juice.
poop. What the hell, man? That was
But
3365.
caffeine is so abused and then underutilized. It's abused in terms of covering up poor lifestyle habits, and it's underutilized in performance benefits.
Yeah.
So I think as an athletic population, it's underutilized, and as a general population, it's abused because athletes can get so much more out of it. Like I see people that use caffeine at the wrong time, in the wrong amount, without titrating doses over weeks or months, getting over what is it?
OD.
Just too used to it, and they're not getting the same response out of it. And I see people taking not enough to get a dose out of it. They'll have a black coffee, like half a shot, and be like, yeah, I'm like 3 hours before a workout. They'll be like, yeah, I'm good to go. It's like, yeah, like sort of, but like clinical dose looks at like 250 upwards milligram, I think it is. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But 250 to 350 milligrams. But again, you can't sustainably have that. So is it, you're using it as a tool every day, or are you using it on specific training days? For example, my first 2 workouts of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, my dose is around 175 with a black coffee. My bigger workouts of the week, ones where I'm trying to push a little bit more. So today, Mark, I've had 2 coffees before this, and then I'll have basically a 200 milligram dose before we train. So on those bigger workouts, I'm looking to up it. On rest days, minimal caffeine at all that I can get away with based off lifestyle. So I think it's abused in some aspects from Gen Pop society and underutilized or used in the wrong capacity in athletes. Bit like carbs.
Damn. If you didn't think of that because what is it? It's great. Like, how long has caffeine actually been around for, though? Would you say? When did it start? Like, who like invented that sort of stuff? Like,
I don't know, man.
It's-
Freaking Moses.
It's part of the Red Sea and there's
The
caffeine.
Big Bang.
yeah.
Been there for a long time.
Yeah, like when did that stuff like first come around? Like that's the main thing. And
I
then-
think within the fitness industry, it was when like the supplement sort of market started rising.
Yeah.
That's when it really started to take off.
I think as a society, caffeine was really abused by, let's say, people in professions like law enforcement, in healthcare and all that stuff, it's always a thing. Oh, night shift. Let's grab a coffee.
Yeah.
Feeling tired. Let's
Yeah.
grab a coffee. That's it. So it's within our society as well that caffeine helps you to stay awake, stay alert, last longer.
Well, I think now more than ever, as a society, we need caffeine. Like the way
Exactly.
society operates,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it's changed so much that it's kind of a necessity to get through your day, considering how everything has shifted. Like you have to work 1, 2, 3 jobs just to pay the rent, pay the bills now.
It's not even that, but like it's all the reasons, the places where people use caffeine for, like people use it to go out before they party.
I know,
or something.
right?
Like people use it for study. Where people were actually
Yeah.
like taking it like it was like water back when we were in university to get through the night and all that.
Bro, that's you, mate.
Now it's
Yeah, speaking from experience there, Joe.
just wake up, dry scoop. My day's good. All right.
It's like that scene from The Wolf of Wall Street when Matthew McConaughey is talking to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh,
When
yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio's like interning. It's like, man, it's like, do you jerk off or something like that? It's like, I take this much of cocaine to take the edge off. You know, there's high frequency numbers all the time. Yeah, that's life nowadays. So much input, hey. So much input
Yeah.
with little output.
We haven't adapted to it though. That's the thing.
No.
Well, because
That's
it's
why-
happened so quickly, right? It's just
Yeah.
the last 2 decades.
I read a study somewhere about the scrotum size and semen volume has drastically reduced over the years.
What are you reading? And when are you reading?
Dude, I'm getting woke, man.
Okay.
I'm trying to jump out of this matrix, bro.
Yeah. Matrix.
No, I'm just really interested into
You at
trends.
Hustlers
and all that
University?
No, I'm not. I tried, bro. Yeah, because I'm really into like male hormone optimization now.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
So you were saying scrotum size is shrinking.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck.
And I think it's because we're
Mine
so
mine
ingrained.
definitely has.
Bro. That's all good, man. That's another podcast.
That's for a discussion of when I'm not at a table of Illuminatis.
Have you got like a transformation picture?
That's for episode 200. The body reveal.
before and after.
But yeah, it's just the nature of the work, man. It's just like trying to climb the corporate ladder, all that stuff, versus all the manual hard work labor, let's say being a fisherman, working at the quarry, all that stuff back in the days. Male physical labor has kind of been reduced to corporate work, sitting behind the office, being enslaved by the screen.
Yeah.
That has reduced the level of motivation, physical aspect, which promotes testosterone as well. And also another thing, I read this fact, it's because women have more access to education now, which has kind of reduced the pool of women wanting to find a partner, wanting to settle down.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's correct. I'm actually reading a book right now called The Gender Paradox. Why troubled boys are succeeding and disciplined girls are failing. I don't know the full title. It's a long title,
Yeah.
but it was actually written by a woman who's a PhD as well.
Yeah.
So for context, and she was talking about women, regardless of how successful they are, will more likely to drop out of their job, regardless of whether or not family is involved. So the main reason why most women leave their jobs is because of having children or that. But then they're more likely to drop out regardless of intelligence. And that was next thing. The second thing was it has this idea that men and women can never be 50%, like 50-50. And I've always said that. I never believed men and women could ever be 50-50. And that's a good thing. And then,
We're about to be cancelled.
yeah, I'm about to be cancelled.
This is the last set.
I'm just gonna.
I'm going to use my own, like, we're going to get to that part of my story.
I'm just going to keep reading about the origins of caffeine over here.
I was just saying to myself, like, I was having it's also not that, but I also believe in the whole concept of gender bias. Like, you go to a hospital, there's more likely to see female nurses than there are male nurses. And you go to a primary school, I'm like, let me ask you this, if you had children, would you leave your children in a preschool of just men?
Friggin' of course, if there's a son, bro. If I had a son, of course.
Really? All
Yeah.
men?
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. It was just the whole concept of nurture, you know what I mean? And then people, if I've take it one step further. I've never heard of an all male like kindergarten.
I think if you're a guy and you've chosen that profession, then you have the qualities to nurture.
Yeah.
So I believe I would put my kids in there, but I feel like I'm too nice and forgiving, and I'd give them the benefit of the doubt, and I wouldn't think that like, oh, they're like a child sex predator or something. I'd just be like, cool, like you do the job. I'm sure you're good at it. Here's my kids. I'll pay you for it.
Fair enough. Oh, cool. Let's get to it. What are we talking about?
Before we jump into the origins of caffeine, I wanted to reverse on something Johnny said about like this corporate industry now. I think workplaces are one problem, but it's a modern problem. We're not going to be able to escape that.
Exactly, we can't.
We look at lifestyle instead. Like these corporate guys or these people that aren't active, what are they doing when they finish work?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because there's 24 hours in a day. Let's say people are sleeping for 8. They've got another 8 hours.
Good, yeah.
What are they doing for that other 8 hours? There's your time for physical challenge. There's your time for mental growth.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Even the fact of, our living arrangements have changed a little bit. Like one of my favorite fucking things to do is mow the lawn.
Oh, bro.
I love mowing the fucking lawn. But a lot of people don't have that opportunity, or they don't create that opportunity for themselves. They don't have a wood fireplace to chop wood for. They don't have a home to take care of for their family because they live in apartments or they live in units, things like that. So I think we've created this environment indoors, and we're creating this environment for comfort, and people looking to change that, or, as Johnny would say, reduce your scrotal shrinkage. All you need to do, I think, is step outside this little comfortable box that we've created for ourselves.
Yeah. Comfort will kill you.
And comfort will kill you. And step outside that and look for challenge, look for mental challenge, look for physical exertion. We were designed to hunt things. We were designed to kill things. It's only been a few thousand years since major evolutionary changes. So we're not really that far evolved from our hunter-gatherer ancestors, and that's sort of where we still are in terms of needs. Maybe in another few thousand years, we'll be adapted to this comfortable lifestyle. But at the moment, I don't think we are. We're still in that need for physical exertion, physical challenge. And as we see through a lot of anecdotal experience, and especially like within myself too, I am much better off with exertions and challenges in place and physical labour, stuff that really challenges me and gets me out moving, gets me out thinking, and gets me outdoors. So in regards to those corporate guys, do that job. But then what are you doing afterwards? Are you going for a drink and then catching the bus home and sitting down and gaming? I mean, because I've been there and done that. Or are you sitting down and watching TV and, snacking on candy, like shit like that? Or are you going home? I'm not saying go to the gym. Are you going to the pool after and smacking some laps out? Are you putting your lycra on? Are you going for a ride? Are you going kayaking? Go dirt biking, for fuck's sake. It doesn't have to be dirt biking is actually super physical work. But are you doing something outdoors? Are you doing something physical? Are you doing something challenging? Or are you just succumbing to the comfortable lifestyle? So in regards to that, I think there's definitely ways around it. We've got to look for it. And we all sort of work with clients or people in some regards. And I think that's the best advice I start to give to people is like, just look outside your daily comfort box as a start. Take one step outside and you'll start to grow and improve, and your scrotum will stop shrinking.
That's right.
It's incredibly addictive. We'll give you that.
Comfort is, I've been there and done that. Like I used to game upwards of 20 to 45 hours a week.
I know.
Like fucking heaps when I was studying. I mean, studying was easy, so I'm here anyway. I might as well game, right? Yeah. And ever since sort of cutting that out and being more physically active and being more extroverted and going out and being more physical, my life and my personality has only grown.
Yeah. Okay. Because since we're on that topic, like, what would you guys say you've got mowing the lawn, as your main thing? Do you guys have that one task you can do? You just enjoy the shit out of?
No, I know what Johnny's is, because I similar thing, like mowing the lawn, but also cooking. Yeah. I know Johnny loves cooking the fuck out of a steak.
I love
really?
steak, bro.
I get these steak Snapchats. You need to send me more of them, man.
Always, bro. I should. I had one last night, bro.
Yeah,
you know why?
I cooked up one. I'll show you a picture.
It makes me feel like I'm on the hunt, bro. That red meat, like a Liver King, bro. I enjoy violence.
You stay on the hunt. You don't actually cook anything.
I was on the hunt, bro. For me, I actually enjoy violence, to be honest. Oh, I like that, dude.
Yeah, little sushi bowl.
Yeah, I saw that trying to make room for the burgers or something you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, this was last night.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I did.
We actually eat the same.
We do.
Wow.
Yeah, we do.
Well, we came from the vertical diet, didn't we? we're both learning.
Is that testicles?
No.
Was it like freaking like Paul Saladin? Like, vegetables are bullcrap. Stop eating vegetables. Like it's got defensive mechanisms. Like
Oh, I fucking hate that shit. Like, we learnt the best advice ever in university, and that was consume a balanced diet.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Just consume a balanced diet.
So-
in everything in moderation.
Mowing the lawn. You got cooking. What about you, Mark?
Mine was before I tragically sold my 1990 E30. It was just taking care of that once a week, washing it, changing the oil, replacing the fluids, making sure she's in good mick. Sadly, she had to go.
Topping up the wiper fluid.
Yeah, the blinker fluid.
Blinker
fluid.
fluid. Blinker fluid. My bad. What about the flux capacitor? Do you change that frequently?
Once a month.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I have to shovel coal in there. You know.
Cool. And is it one of those engines you got to get started with that crank?
The
So
steam
just
train.
Yeah, that's good for I'm at work.
Yeah. Mine's reading.
Yeah,
I
okay.
just
Me too, man.
fucking like I find myself wanting to read more and more these days. Get off social media more and more. See, that's one of the things I've spoken a lot about lately. I honestly believe a lot of today's problems. I'm not saying we're gonna. I've said this. I'm not saying it's gonna fix it, but if we just cut social media out of our lives, or you drastically decrease it, like you can't be on Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok for more than 1 hour a day, because 1 hour a day is almost harmless and all that. Then I feel like so many issues we have with like depression, anxiety, suicide, all this shit would go down. Like a lot of that stuff would go down. Honestly believe when you ain't on social media, you're not worried about what other people are doing. You're focusing on your own problems, and you take a lot more pride in your own shit. You know what I mean? Not everything. And I don't believe that, we were ever meant. I feel like we're not evolved yet to deal with that stuff that's going on, and this is evolving way too fucking fast for us. So that's one of the things I think I've got eventually human beings, I do believe that one day will be integrated with technology. Like, you guys ever played that game Cyberpunk, or seen that TV show Cyberpunk? Yeah,
So it's like a symbiotic relationship, like
I
Venom,
do.
right?
I do think that's going to happen at one point. I don't know when, but yeah. But anyway, going back to the old thing is just reading. I feel like when you're just sitting down reading a book, it's such a natural thing as well, and the body actually rewards itself for it. Like, you read a couple pages and you think about it and you think, oh, that actually feels better, and you're actually kind of proud that you did it as well,
Definitely, I vibe with that, because I used to love reading as a kid. Like, as a young kid, I read the Captain Underpants book series. Like,
Oh man, Captain Underpants.
countless,
Dav Pilkey, bro.
countless times. The Cherub series. Oh, fuck.
That's still going.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I probably wouldn't read it these days.
What was the Mad
but-
Dogs page 133? I don't know. There's something going on.
All right, I'll read it. All right, twist my arm. I'll read it. But I've got a daily checklist of things I have to do, and now is read a books on there, because I set myself a goal for 2022, and it was read 10 books. And about 8 weeks ago, my dad visited. No, it wasn't that long ago. It was about 4 weeks ago. My dad visited, and we're in the city, and we went to Planet Books in the city, and I was in there, and I was like, "Fuck,
Great place, eh?
I have read 2 books this year."
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking sad. So now I'm probably not going to make 10, but I'm going to make a big dent before the end of the year and read as much as I can. So it's a daily thing that now, before I go to sleep, because I'm busy all through the day at the moment, I read before I go to sleep. Even if it's eating into my sleep time, which isn't a healthy habit to be in, I'm forcing myself to sit down, read for 5 minutes. And it's only done good for me since.
I actually want to own a bookstore one day. That's one thing I've found.
Yeah.
Come to terms with
Well,
myself.
I love it. It's great. Like,
Yeah.
me and the missus went out for a date the other night in the city again. And we just went around the city, and I was like, there's Planet Books. Let's go. Let's buy something. Yeah.
That's awesome. What did you get?
It was something series of, to be honest, we both just walked in and saw it, like, top shelf. It was like this nice hardcover black with
Top shelf.
top shelf.
That's like the
Harry
T word.
Styles.
When I finish
baby.
That's the
explaining the
M word
joke,
for me
Joe, you can tell us why everyone's laughing. Up the top shelf, it was black hardcover, gold engraving, like embossed logo, something about the series of Conan.
And
I was
saw
like,
that.
yeah, and I was like, fucking sold. I mean, I didn't even read any book. I was like, I just want the book. Looks cool. I was like, I don't care what's in it. I've done that before with it's like the full encyclopedia of Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
It's actually my laptop stand at the moment, but one day I'm going to read it. But yeah, so I bought that, and the missus bought some English literature book or something. I can't remember. But yeah, why were we all laughing at Top Shelf, Joe? This has come out in the podcast before, right?
It has many times.
Many times. I'm glad.
I've gotten to a point now where I just think to myself, I can't believe I actually fucking did that. I
think it's something to be proud of, to be honest.
It is.
Because it's something I wanted to do for a while. I was like, I don't know how Joe does it. Like, so much confidence. You are an entertainer, you are an artist, and you are creative. So it's something I don't think you should ever look back on and be like, oh, why did I do that? Oh, that's so cringe. Because those are experiences that you can only learn from, and they've made you who you are today.
Not like that. I meant, like, I was like, do you believe the idea that you change as a person and all that?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
We're all the same age. We're 24, 20, like
I'm
20,
still 23.
23, 24,
23.
23,
25.
20. Oh, good. I love
Old
this. You're
man.
the oldest in the room.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, yeah, no, we're good. I forget.
my
It's
my
the Alzheimer's
mind,
already.
Yeah.
my mind just this year alone has gone from the biggest like mental shift it's ever gone through. So many things I look back at. I think of the way, and I remember the way I used to think when I was 21, when I was doing that stuff, and yeah, of course. I mean, it was awesome. I loved it. I had a great time. No regrets whatsoever. Well, I mean, there's a couple of things I actually do regret, but mentally, I had to do it then. I couldn't have done it in this state of mind I have now when I'm at this age that I'm at now, because this person who I feel like I'm becoming is more private, more composed, more cautious. The 21-year-old, 18 to 22-year-old me was reckless. He didn't give a fuck. He was, back in the sleep. He just wanted to have fun. He was escaping his problems. He was
rocking up to uni lectures in a stringer and
yeah,
2 cans of Monster Deep at like 9 o'clock. Yeah.
I actually remember I would fall asleep in those fucking lectures.
You did?
And all that. Yeah, and we actually had a relaxation it was a psychology lecture, and we had a talking about realization, and then he's like, oh, we're going to do a relaxation technique. He turned the lights off, and I was like, oh no, and immediately my brain just shut off. He's like, I want everyone to close your eyes. And then 2 minutes later, it's like, is someone snoring? It was like, they just let me sleep there for a good 10 minutes, and then I actually woke up, and they were leaving the lecture. I was like, oh shit, fuck, what happened? But to close up on that point, it was a good thing for when I was that young, but if someone asked me to do it right now, given the circumstances I'm in, I would be absolutely not. And it's something that I'm so glad I've put away, because as fun as it was, getting up on stage, going to hens parties, talking to women, being a center of attention, it's great, but there's one thing I've learned from being in the industry is that absolute freedom on its own means nothing. You get satisfaction from staying things for a while, and growth and happiness comes from growth. You get to a point in the stripping industry where you feel like you cannot go any further unless this is something you can actually want to pursue. And to do that, you have to go outside of Perth to somewhere like Vegas, which you can do, or you have to go jump on the Magic Mike actual fucking show itself that tours around Australia. But you get to a point where in Perth where you realise, I can't get out of this, I can't go any further. It's the same thing every fucking weekend. It's the same routine every fucking weekend. And, and eventually you've realised you've outgrown it, and then there's no... And when you feel like you're not growing, that's when you want to change something new and all that. And then, what was that? So that's just to clear up on it. I mean, it was awesome, but yeah, I'm glad it ended.
Do you think people do get stuck in there for longer than you did? Because
yeah.
How long do you think you were in that space, in the stripping space, going, I've outgrown this, before you took a leap outside of it? How long do you think you were, and then how long do you think people do get stuck in that space?
Okay, so the average lifespan of a stripper is 3 years, okay? First year, it's like everybody's fat, you're a baby. Oh my God, people give me this attention. I love it. Second year, you understand all the problems that come with it. And third year is when you realize, oh fuck, I've pretty much gone as far as I can. But the reason why I did the 4 years was because of COVID. I had this thing, I self-confessed, like, You guys remember back when I was in uni, we were in the final semester. I was getting into a job as a PT. I had a girlfriend. I was saying to myself, okay, this is going to be my last year. I'm going to do this. And then COVID hit, and it was like 8 months. So there was like 7 or 8 months. We didn't have any shows for pretty much the entire year. And then when I hit my final year, it was just like, I need to get out of this. I feel like I'm getting stuck in this. And one of the other reasons is because there are people who have been doing it for years and years and years and years. And then I'm like, why are you still going? And they all say the same thing to me. I've got nothing to go to outside of here. These people, they get trapped into it. And it's mainly the girls as well, because they realize, I will never get this much attention again. I will never feel like I would ever be something like this ever again. And that's why they get drawn back to it. So in my head, I had to say to myself, when I told myself it was going to be my last year, I'm going to dedicate myself to things that I know bring me happiness, that are going to be waiting for me. And then what happened was all these things were building, like the podcast was going well when I was with Jack. I had a really solid relationship with my girlfriend, Effie. My PT was doing really well. And then it got to, okay, let's just make it to my birthday. And then it went to, not from a year to make it to my birthday. And then it went to, I want to fucking leave next week. I'm done with this. And then that's when I hope that answers your question, really, you know?
Yeah, okay. So if it was over a few months period, 3 months maybe?
Yeah, I would say that long.
Yep.
Yeah. And also the other thing was just, like I told myself as well, once I'm out, that's it. I don't want to be that. It's like a train. Once you get off the train, that train's gone. The train's going to go forever. You know, once you drop the ego.
There's more passengers for it. Don't jump back on.
Yeah, they're all fucking hell. Everybody, you know, these days knows a stripper or is a stripper or whatever.
Mark's looking pretty good.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, fuck.
When are you going to get up on stage, dog? You know?
No. I think I had the same thought process as you with music for me. Mm-hmm. It's a very similar thing. Like a lot of people will get trapped inside of it and they have nothing to fall back to. And I feel like that, like I was one of the lucky ones where, like, unless you're a child prodigy or you live somewhere where music is the hub or where it's popular and there's resources to go to music, Perth isn't the place for that. And it's like a 1 in a million chance that you're going to be able to make it starting in Perth. Mm-hmm. And like eventually people just fall off the performance route and they go like teach and stuff, but it's not really fulfilling. It's like they're never an cycle,
teach, right?
Hey?
If you can't do teach, right?
Yeah, it's that, I think we talked about it a couple of podcasts ago. It's just that endless cycle. And I feel like I was lucky that I had something else I was interested in, which was fitness and bodybuilding. And like this last year has just been like the most transformative year of my life. I feel like going into uni out of high school, it just felt like high school 2.0 for music, at least, because it's such a bubble inside of music. You like, it feels like Hogwarts kind of thing. Hogwarts School of fucking music. And it's
that's got a ring to it.
But it's
I just want to watch Harry Potter. I mean, it's been brewing in my mind for a few weeks. So.
It's sad but true. I feel like you get so stuck into this culture / cult where it's like this high arts patrician, like we're better than everyone else kind of thing, and you never really get any actual life experience. And I actually feel like after I finish with music is when I kind of finished high school. That's when like my adult life started at fucking 22. Just this last year I actually felt like, oh, like I can finally start doing or being an adult. And it's just like an extension of high school.
I feel like we're all on the same level.
I feel like uni was like that for me too. Like the whole time I was in uni, like I was gaming a lot. Like it took me to drop out of doing my honours to then picking up work to being like, I don't have fucking time already to do this shit. Like I got shit to do, like fucking mow the lawns and crap. No.
Change the
it took me literally to get out of uni for me to grow up and become an adult. Like even though I did a gap year and that was almost like a period of, you know, growing up being an adult, went back to studying and it's almost like a fucking revert back to high school mentality where you're just lazy as fuck. You know, you work the bare minimum. I know that's what I was doing anyway. You definitely weren't, Joe.
Well, it's like going back to the comfort zone, right?
Yeah, it was going back to a comfort zone. And I think it's probably the same for a lot of people. Like, that's why a lot of people stay at home when they study. I mean, there's financial reasons too, but it's like, fuck, get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
I think that should be, you know, semester one, everybody at uni, like, hey, this is how you treat people. This is how you study. Figure out how you study. This is how you eat well. This is how you exercise. And this is how you get outside your comfort zone. That should be like, I mean, at university we had a bunch of compulsory online units that we had to do. I think one of them was like English. One of them was
Indigenous studies.
Studies, like research habits and like copyright. Where's the one on personality growth over the next 3 years while you're in uni? Where's the unit on taking care of yourself? I think that probably needs to be like almost like a reality check. Like, hey, you're not doing music. Do you need to be doing music? Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
like reality check unit.
We didn't do that, but there was parts of that in certain units that we did.
I mean, yeah, we did sports science, so there was
Yeah,
lots of
Yeah.
there was lots of taking care of your stuff, health.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. I mean, if you can't take care of yourself, how can you expect to be taking care of others?
In any capacity, in any workplace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Sorry, I just saw the time. Do we need to wrap this up because you guys need to get out of here, or we got?
Yeah,
we can just
couple
take-
minutes.
Yeah,
minutes,
it's like
okay.
5 minutes.
Now, yeah. Yep.
Oh, cool. So since we're at it,
jam a session.
that's all good. Since we're at it, guys, we just want to make this announcement as well. Since we're here, make this announcement to everybody listening, guys, because this is the 150th episode. I've said to myself, okay, it's time to get legit. It's time to make sure we can turn this podcast into something as big as possible. So if you are listening, this podcast is now can be publicly funded through Patreon. So it's official. I believe it's time. It's not a sellout fucking thing. It's because I want to do more episodes. I want to give more to the fans. Hopefully the fans will want to see more episodes and hear more episodes as well. So if you're listening, the Patreon link will be in the subscription in the description. And of course, gentlemen, thank you. This is it. This is a big step. I'm
Congratulations to you for taking such
congrats, man.
big decision to make, especially for like something that's your own project, and that's something almost like a side hustle, a small endeavor for you. It's a big step for you to take. So well done making that leap outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Well done.
So, all right, boys. Now, before I let you guys go, just give yourselves a quick shout out. Where can the audience find you? You know the drill. Starting with Cal.
At Coach Callum Tuff on Instagram.
You can find me at Mark Y Warrener. That's MarkWarrener.
You can find me at Johnny_Richies_gym, or just hop by, come into Richie's gym. You'll probably find me by the bench press.
Measure your testicles.
Yeah,
Exactly.
get your balls measured and
Coming for a nice palpation, you know what I mean?
and get a bag of non-Australian approved pre-workout.
I am that guy. I am him.
At what point do you think like, oh fuck, like gear's probably safer?
Maybe next year.
Hey.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Guys, thank you so much for listening. And I promise I'm here. It's going to go up. And this last thing I want to say to every guest that's ever come on this podcast, to every listener that's ever listened, no matter how many you've listened to, or every new listener, I just want to say a big thank you. And here's the next step. Anyway, cheers. All right, that is game.